Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life. You know, it's with a humble and a grateful heart that I can tell you right now, I love my life today. You know, I have a beautiful family. I do what I love. I'm proud of myself and the journey I've had the courage to lead and the accomplishments that I've achieved. But it wasn't always like this. You know, there was a time when my life was far away from anything that anybody would want. You know, I was born and raised in extreme poverty and in a home that at times was violent. And you know, I suffered not only physical violence, but also mental violence. And I grew up surrounded by people who made me feel unworthy of love and respect. You know, I had no self-confidence. I was completely paralyzed on the left side of my body due to a car accident I had when I was 16, and I was surrounded by professionals telling me that I would never live past the age of 30 due to the internal injuries that I suffered as a result of the accident and the extensive brain damage that I had as a result. So you know what? I was constantly frustrated. I constantly felt suffocated, and with all the negativity around me, I felt completely unmotivated. But I got to tell you, there is something inside of me that wanted to expand and overcome my current situation. But you know, at the same time, I had those voices in my mind that kept telling me I wouldn't make it. You know, have you ever heard or told yourself this or heard this from others? You know, you're not good enough, you know, or you can't. Who do you think you are? Or you're going to fail, and just have people tell you things like that. Or it's just another one of your pipe dreams, Doug. Have you ever, I'm sure you didn't hear the Doug part, but you probably, the pipe dreams thing, that used to drive me nuts. I still have that in my head. A person I care about used to say that to me all the time. You know, every time I started a new business or a new venture or did something good for others from a charitable standpoint, I would always say to myself, just another pipe dream, huh? I gotta tell you what, you know, but at the time, I just knew in my mind that I couldn't go any further in life, you know, but then there was also something inside me, and for some unknown reason, I couldn't see any changes in my life, no matter how hard I tried. You know, I had overcome part of my paralysis by being able to not necessarily walk, but limp around and get around better than, it wasn't very good walking, but you know what, it was better than being confined to a wheelchair for me. I wanted to be a little bit more mobile, and I wanted to be out there. I know they told me I couldn't do it, but I did do it. So it's one of those things. But you know, it was because I was so young at the time, you know, when all my mental and moral abuse began, that my internal dialogue shaped itself according to the limiting perception that other people had about me, you know, and I inadvertently accepted that as being the truth about myself. I couldn't do it. Hey, I'm going to die at the age of 30. Why would I even need to learn how to walk anyway? I'm 16, 14 years of walking, whatever. You know, I can just sit here in this chair. And then I thought, why would I go to college? You know, I only have 14 years of life left. It's not like I'm going to use my college degree for anything, you know, or why would I need to start a business? I'm not going to be around to see it. You know, I really honestly used to believe crap like that. And the consequences of living with beliefs like that, you know, are terrible. It puts you in a negative mode, and it makes you completely unmotivated. And I was in a constant struggle because I was stuck. You know, I was totally stuck. I was unhappy. I didn't believe in myself. The people I trusted in my life were not giving me good feedback, not telling me, you can do it, Doug. Come on, let's work together on this. Let's get it done. You know, not that mentality. More the, hey, let's figure out what programs and benefits we can get you signed up for so you have the ability to provide some sort of support for yourself moving forward. And, you know, at that point in time, you're just kind of like, gee, thanks, you know, but I hated my life, you know, but I completely and totally hated my life. I hated where I was. I hated who I was. I hated people around me, you know, and here's the deal. But there's something inside of me. I'm just a stubborn son of a gun. And I tell you what, I used to observe people around me and realize that for some of them, life would unfold beautifully. And I thought to myself, There must be something they know and do differently, and I have to find out what that is and do that in my life. And so that's when my journey began. I was so determined to make changes that I was willing to starve the old me so that I could be reborn into the person I wanted to become. The person I knew that I could be. I knew there had to be more. I wanted more. If it was just going to be a short life, I wanted it to be a better life than the one that was being provided to me by others. And I knew I was probably going to have to go out and get that myself. And, I remember one of the first books anybody ever gave me, I remember talking to a mentor about what I wanted to do, what my goals were, and I didn't understand why some people were so successful and it seemed to come so easy to them, and then people like me have all this crap dumped on them, and we're still expected to come up with some sort of a life, And they gave me the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And they said, Napoleon Hill was asked by Andrew Carnegie to go out and interview 500 of the most successful families in America, ask them all the same questions, find out what it is that they're doing that makes them so successful, and then he wanted him to write a book about it. So Napoleon Hill took that charge, and he actually went out into the world, traveled around, and based on invitations provided by Andrew Carnegie to these families, Napoleon was able to complete the interviews and write the book Think and Grow Rich. And you know what? There's a secret in that book. And if you read the book and find the secret, you can have anything it is that you want in your life. And I thought to myself, when I was told that, I thought that's a pretty big commitment there for this book. But the more it was explained to me by this person, and the more that I thought about it, you're right. This guy has talked to 500 successful families. He must have picked up on something that helps them to all be as successful as they are. Did you know that 3% of the population makes 97% of all the money there is to be made? So that 3%'s got to be doing something different than everybody else in order to achieve their big results. And I thought, well, this book, it's got to be a starting place. I was so determined to make changes. I was determined to live. That's the first thing. I got to make it past 30. And I got to tell you what, boy, I went from 29 to 31. Those were two of the most arduous years of my life. But I got to tell you, I made it, and here I am, and I'm 48 years old now. And I'll tell you, I'm going to keep going, and I think I'm going to have a long life. But this burning desire that I had to change not only allowed me to overcome the difficulties and limitations of the past, but it also helped me to build a life of happiness. And that's the thing. You must have the desire to win and commit to yourself to keep trying until you get what you want. It's 100% the truth. You have to commit to yourself that you won't quit, no matter what other people tell you, no matter what's said to you, no matter what happened in your past, no matter what people have drilled into your head that you're capable of doing in your future. You must commit to yourself that you're going to be different. You're going to change. You're going to go against the grain, and you're going to win no matter what it takes. As long as it doesn't interfere with the lives of others or impact anybody else in a negative fashion, you will move forward. You will do what it takes. So let me give you a few nuggets here that help me to achieve some of the success that I have in my life. And I think there's three primary things. I already mentioned to you, I found a mentor. And it's true, when I was struggling to change my results, I didn't know what to do to succeed in life. I didn't believe that I was smart enough to achieve my dreams. I didn't. And after an Ivy League MBA, I don't know that I even still believed in myself to the extent that I do today. But I'll tell you what, I was willing to invest everything of myself to get involved into a mentorship program so that I could learn more, get more information and knowledge. And when I did, my life changed dramatically. My mentor helped me uncover my blind spots. They helped me to develop new strengths and to define and get organized with my goals and the actions that I was going to need to take to achieve them. And they made me realize that I could truly trust myself. And I'll tell you what, it took me until about the age of 28 to really believe in myself and to start to have enough heart to take on challenges that throughout my childhood I had been told was impossible for people like me. And I'm not quite sure what they were referring to there. I assume they were referring to a disabled individual, but that was the deal. People like you just don't do that. People like you don't go to college. How are you going to get around college? How are you going to get your wheelchair into the doorways? And remember, this is like 30 years ago, but still, people said stuff like that to me, and I'm like, really, you think so? And here's the deal. That was just motivation for me to walk. I'm like, hey, yeah, you're right. I guess I'm gonna be limited with this wheelchair. So what we're gonna have to do is figure out a way for me to walk. And then and people came to my aid and they helped me when I decided I was gonna do that and committed to myself that I was gonna get up out of that chair and walk, because medically I believed it was a possibility for me, even though I was told it was not. I was going to do it. And I tell you what, that's the whole thing. When people tell you can't do something in your life, we all know that person that says, tell me I can't do something. It's the best way to get me to just go do it. I have a 12-year-old daughter that is exactly like that. And that's the mentality we have to take on in order to achieve big success in our life. Damn the naysayers. Damn the people who say it can't be done. Because you know what? If you believe in your heart and your mind that you can do it, and you're constantly taking steps towards that destination, you will inevitably get there. It can be no other way. And this mental programming, I'm telling you what, you can't get different results by doing the same thing. You've probably heard it time and time again. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Do you see any of that in our society? Do you see any of that in the people that you surround yourself with? If you do, get away from it now, because I'm telling you what, if the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, that must therefore mean that the definition of sanity is the ability to change our mind. The ability to do something different, to take your own path, to know and look around you and say, hey, you're all doing this and you're all getting very bad results. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do my own thing, and I'm going to move forward in my own way. And I know that sounds cliche, but trust me, if you really want to change your life, you need to make a serious commitment to figure out what limiting beliefs you hold about yourself, what limiting beliefs you're surrounding yourself with, and get rid of them. I mean, the beliefs you have about your own potential will always shape your thoughts and feelings, and based on that, the actions that you engage in. And those actions will create results, and those results will shape your reality. Thoughts become things. Have you ever realized that you were speaking negatively about yourself? Did you know that the average person says about 3,000 negative things in their mind every single day? That's a lot of negativity. And if you look at your life and see some aspects that you're not happy with, find what limiting beliefs have influenced you to make the decisions that have led you to where you are now. Because we're all adults, and you're responsible for where you are right now. It's your own decisions that have got you where you are, and it's your own decisions that are going to get you out of that circumstance and into the life that you deserve to live. Become aware of your thoughts and the feelings that they trigger in you. And a way that you can overcome these limiting thoughts is by overriding the programming. One way that I overwrite the programming in my mind, because it's an excellent way to do so, is to read books that can help you understand your feelings and how to deal with them. And I'm telling you what, you can. That one of the books that I recommend if you want to understand the importance of thoughts is called As a Man Thinketh. Grab that book, As a Man Thinketh. It's an incredible book, and it'll shed some light on the importance of monitoring our thoughts, monitoring the information that you allow into your mind, and what the overall impacts are of doing so. I'm telling you what, it's a book that I think can help just about anybody to do better by controlling their thoughts and the information that they allow into their minds. And then here's the other thing. People, this is a big thing. Surround yourself, successful people, if you ever noticed, sometimes they have an entourage, right? Where they have hand-picked people around them. If you've ever seen Jeff Bezos or Mark Cuban or anybody else who's achieved some incredible success in their life, you'll usually see four to five of the same faces around them at any given point in time. Those are not always security individuals. A lot of those people are there for mental focus, for creativity. Those are people that they trust to be uplifting and have ideas that allow them to be influenced by their positive presence. And I'm telling you what, these are people you can learn from. Surround yourself with people you can learn from. Surround yourself with people who are willing to help others and then help them to be successful. Having the best at your side will certainly accelerate the achievement of your dreams, and I guarantee it's proven time and time again. And if I was able to overcome my past limitations and create the life that I want, you know what? I know that you can do it too. It's kind of interesting. People always ask, Doug, why do you always say I care about you at the end of your videos? And why do you always say I believe in you? And I know if anybody can do it, you can. Because when I say that stuff, I truly mean it. Because there's been many times in my life when I needed somebody to say something like that to me. And when it comes from me, it comes from somebody who's been down in the dark hole. There's been points in my life in the past where I thought, hey, I've already been dead. I know what it's like. So what's the big deal? Why do I need to be here? Why would God send me back here just to be some handicapped guy with no future? I used to think that. He even had me for an hour, and he had time to think about it, But still, he sent me back. And I remember when I went through all the pain of all the surgeries that I went through and sitting in the wheelchair with some bright medical minds telling me your brain damage is too extensive. That part of your brain, the brain works in different ways and it can rewire itself, but we truly don't expect you to be able to walk again or use your left arm for much. And I kind of thought, why would I be here? Why would they? If God is good and God is loving and God is great and all these things, it seems, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to save my life just to send me back to have a horrible life. And I thought, what is my purpose? This is not good. So, and the whole thing is, I'm no more special than you. I'm just someone who was hungry for change and proved that regardless of how bad things get, regardless of what your circumstance currently is, you can decide to change. And when you decide to change, everything becomes possible to you in your life. So I think right now is a good time for you to proclaim that now it's time to make it happen. So let's choose to be determined and persistent. Let's choose to meet today with the success that we want to achieve. And you know what? You will make it if you make a decision to try, not quit, and continue to set goals and every day take steps towards achieving those goals. You'll build the beautiful life you want. I guarantee it. Hey, if I can do it, anybody can do it, okay? It's 100% the truth. And you know what? I believe in you. I care about you. And you know what? If anybody can do it, you can. And I know it for a fact. I know for a fact that you can do it. Have a beautiful day, friends. I'll be back tomorrow with some more information and things to get you thinking. You know what I say every day? If you're thinking, you're putting yourself in the right position to walk down the path towards getting the life that you deserve to live. And you're going to have it. I guarantee you're going to have it as long as you do the things you need to do to move in the direction of that life. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you tomorrow.